Talk to me a little bit about coming to this franchise. I was just reading an interview with you this morning about kind of feeling like it was always meant to be in your life, and walk me through the arc of how you ended up here playing Abby.
Yeah, I met Neil Druckmann years ago because The Last of Us was potentially going to be a movie. I had a few meetings with him about that, and he got to walk me through Naughty Dog and told me all about how they made the game and the process of making the game. Spoiled the entire second game before the game, years before the game even came out, the second game. So I had a lot of information that no one else had. I carried that with me for many years. And then I, as things do in this industry, it kind of fell apart, fell away. And I always kind of, it held a very special place in my heart, The Last of Us. I really loved the first game, and thought Neil was super cool. I actually worked with him on Uncharted 4 about a year after The Last of Us movie was no longer happening. And then, this is a really long timeline I'm giving you. And then I was 17. No, but yeah, it just took years. There was just years later, season 1 came out, and I just thought Bella was truly so good as Ellie. They're really, really incredible and amazing. And I just love what they did. And became a fan of the show. And then, yeah, it came back into my life. Neil and Craig wanted to meet me to play Abby, and they asked me to do it, and I said absolutely yes. And yeah, it's a bit, it feels like I feel really lucky. It's a really big deal because the show is so huge, but the game is just, it's all massive. It's huge.
Talk to me about that dichotomy, because your casting meant different things to different people based on their knowledge of the games and sort of where you're feasibly headed with your character. Mm-hmm. What do you make of that kind of divide and sort of speaking to people with different levels of knowledge about the show?
It's tough because, I obviously was aware of all of those conversations going into this. I didn't hesitate though when saying yes. I was I still wanted to do it, and I think it was because of Neil Druckmann and Craig Mazin's confidence in me, that made me sort of have confidence in myself to play her. And so obviously read a lot of stuff on the internet. I've read a lot. It's hard not to. But I'm able to separate those things, because at the end of the day, what I felt was important was just making sure what I was doing with the role as an actor, as a person playing a fictional character. I had a responsibility to sort of come at it with my own ideas, and also create who this Abby was going to be with Craig and Neil. But I wanted to focus on getting to the real root and the core of who she is.
I think about your range on the film side when you go from something like Booksmart to then I'm a big No One Will Save You fan. I
awesome.
Love that
Cool.
movie.
Oh, thank you.
Talk to me a little bit about kind of how you bring your specific skill set to a character like this, and sort of where your entry point was, where you felt like you started to really connect.
Oh man, I think I don't know how these intense roles come into my life so often. I really don't know how that happens. But I think I find it somewhat therapeutic, and I think with this role, I was honestly, to be very honest, I was dealing with a lot in my personal life, right up until my first day of shooting on this job. And I had done a lot of thinking on the role and a lot of prep mentally, but I hadn't done the same. I really didn't do the same prep that I normally do on other jobs. And I think it was honestly helpful for me, and it was a new, I guess, routine that I was doing for this, because I was really just I threw myself into it in a way that I never have before, and I think it was helpful for this woman and this character I'm playing. And The intensity of it and the anger and the rage that she has. I just really felt like I had to really go for it, and yeah, I kind of really let loose with her.
What do you think makes the perfect revenge story?
This kind of revenge, though, is really hard to talk about because it is so intense, and the things that she obviously says in episode 1 are pretty, it's a pretty big statement and a large goal that she has. I think it's all of the things that are underneath, and what fuels the revenge, and I think for Abby, she is just someone who's desperate to make it all go away, make something better, feel better. And the reality is that there really isn't anything that'll make that go away, make that pain go away. But I think it's rooted in some sort of pain usually, and I think that's maybe what makes a good revenge story, perhaps.